Om Sri Sai Ram. Hearty welcome to Sri Sathya Sai Lokseya Gurukulam. Free online classes in mathematics. We are coming to the last part of the graphs. Introduction to graph. There are so many types of graphs and so many advanced type also. But what we have studied is only introduction, just making know of it. So, what does a graph represents? Graphical representation of data is easier to understand. So, by drawing graphs, we can understand the data easily, is it not? So, to give some examples, you have bar diagram where you have rectangular columns, correct? It shows the representation of data like results of the school or performance in the test, etc. Also, you have seen about pie graph. It is a part of a whole. A circle is drawn representing the whole, and that circle is divided into different sectors, correct? So, all the data is put into the sectors and you get what is called as pie graph, which has got very good applications nowadays. And also you have seen about histogram, where class intervals are taken in the x-axis and the frequency were taken in the y-axis, correct? And the difference is in bar diagram, their columns are different, the gap will be there. In histogram, there is no gap between the columns, and hence we can make out the graphical representation in these forms. Also, we have seen about line graph. It displays the data that changes continuously over periods of time, just like time and temperature. Suppose a patient is admitted to a hospital, once in 1 hour they will see the temperature, how the temperature varies. Similarly, the weather in a day, or election results, or cricket scores. So, all the variations that it changes continuously, okay, that can be seen in the form of what is called as line graph. So, here line graph means the graph in the form of lines it is drawn. Also, we have seen about linear graph. Linear graph means it is an unbroken line. Same line graph, but it is unbroken. If it is unbroken, we call it as linear graph. That also we have seen in the case of, say, percentages, is it not? Simple interest and the percentages, etc. And also for fixing a point on the graph sheet, we need x coordinate and y coordinate. So, we have to mark the points. Suppose you say point A, suppose if you say it is 3, 4, they are called coordinates. 3 is called the x coordinate, 4 is called the y coordinate. Is it not? Suppose you have a point called B, 0, 5. What do you mean 0, 5? 0, 5 means the point is on the y-axis, because the 0 in the x-axis means you should have only the y-axis. Suppose a point called C, 4, 0. It means the point is in the x-axis. You have to see up to 4 digits and you get 4, 0 there. And suppose you have a point called 0, 0. What is that 0, 0 represents? It represents origin, is it not? And The linear graph is obtained by joining these points, which are got what is called as coordinates. So, what is the difference between these two is that you have got coordinates here. You are all, let us suppose you are sitting in a class, correct? And say Sumant, a boy called Sumant. Anybody here Sumant called? Yeah, maybe there. So Sumant is, let us suppose he is sitting in the second bench. So second bench means, so boy called Sumant, we call it as a point S. He is in the second bench, means horizontally he is in the second bench. And there are 4 boys, let us suppose. And if you say vertically 1, 2, suppose he is a third boy, 1, 2, 3. So we say vertically he is in the third position, horizontally he is in the second line. Are following? So second bench, third boy is Sumant. Are you following? So I was giving example of a cinema theater. If you want to, if a seat is booked, what the theater fellow will come with a small torch, especially in the morning matinee show and all, come with a small torch and show you your seat number, say 175. He says horizontal line, 10th line, 5th. She'll just put a torch there. See, go and sit there. I've seen it. Of course, some of you might not have gone to film. I'm telling to those who have gone to film. Or in auditorium also, in a big auditorium, you will be given seat number. We have to go and sit and that seat numbers, correct? So this is something about what is called as linear graph. Now we will see some home assignments. Okay. There is one question. Write the coordinates of the vertices of each of these adjoining figures. Can you see some figure? This is called graph sheet. And you can see some figure, correct? You have got OABC. What is the figure called? Yes, rectangle, correct? Now you have to write the coordinates. So in the rectangle, OABC, what are the coordinates? The coordinates are point O. We call it as coordinates. Why they are called coordinates? There are 2 things here. One is called x coordinate, another is called y coordinate. What is the other name for x coordinate? Anybody knows? Other name for x-axis, point on x-axis is called abscissa. The new word, don't forget, the point on the x-axis is called abscissa. Of course, that word is not in the book, but later on you are going to hear that. And the part in the y-axis is called ordinate. So, abscissa and ordinate. Together they are called coordinates. Understanding? So, now you are telling coordinates of O, point O. So, point O is, come on anybody, tell you, rectangle OABC. Anybody tell the point O? Coordinates of the point O is origin, that is 0, 0. Why you call it 0, 0? X-axis 0, y-axis also 0. That is called origin, starting point. Come on, the same way, point A. Point A, you will have x-axis 2, y-axis, no, it's not going up, right? So, y-axis is 0. So, you have 2, 0. And point B, B is, this is in the second x coordinate is x2, y coordinate is 3. So, we say 2, 3. And lastly, point C. Point C is in y coordinate, y axis. No, there are two axes here. One is called x axis, horizontal, y axis, vertical. And here, horizontal is not there. We call it as 0. And y coordinate is 3. Are you understanding? So, this is called coordinates. Come on, what is the second figure? Second figure is a parallelogram. So, in the parallelogram, why it is called parallelogram? Because the opposite sides are equal and parallel. In the parallelogram PQRS, now you must tell the positions of PQRS in the graph. Now first we will start with P. Are you writing down? Don't keep quiet, be writing down, okay? Okay. See, point P is here. Come on. How will you tell position? X axis it is 4, y axis it is 3. So coordinates of point P is 4, 3. What about Q? Q is here. X axis 6, y axis 1. You call it as 6, 1. Point R. R is here. X axis 6, y axis 5. Now you can write yes easily yourself, right? Can you write? Okay. See, yes. Yes is x axis 4, y axis 7. 4, 7. So these are the coordinates of the parallelogram. And last but not the least, there is one triangle there. What is the name of the triangle? KLM. In triangle KLM. Why it is called triangle? Because there are 3 vertices, 3 sides, 3 angles. Come on. The coordinates of K, come on, K, what shall I write? X axis 10, y axis 5. So 10, 5. And L is x axis 7, y axis also 7. So 7, 7. Lastly, M, x axis 10, y axis 8. 10, 8. Noted down? Very interesting and easy also. No calculation, nothing. Just seeing the figure and writing it. Okay? You noted all this? Very nice. Now we will pass on to one more question. Draw the line passing through the 2 points 2, 3 and 3, 2. Find the coordinates of the points at which the line meets the x-axis and y-axis. So you are asked to draw a line. What is the first step? First step is draw the y-axis. Then draw the x-axis. So it should be y here. This is x. This is x-axis and this is y-axis. And this is called origin. And then what you must do? You must mark the points. And how to mark the points? You can mark it for every 1 centimeter. See, 1 centimeter, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can write scale. The scale is simple. 1 centimeter is equal to 1 unit you can write. Both in x-axis, also y-axis. So this is how you mark this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Coming to y-axis 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you do it? Though this carries 1 mark. Taking O, drawing x-axis and y-axis. Then you are asked to mark the point 2, 3. See 2, 3. 2 is here x-axis. In the line here, see here 2, 3 comes here. On the line of 2, 3 is marked. And here next point is 3, 2. X-axis 3, y-axis 2. Join that. So that is the line. That is the line you are expected to draw. And next question is, find the coordinates of the points at which this line meets the x-axis. So this line, suppose you call it as AB. A is first point, B is second point. The line AB meets the x-axis. So answer for the question is, I will write here only solution. Line AB meets, see, I think you understood the word meeting. Meeting is different from intersecting. Meeting means just touching. Meets the x-axis where? At. So slightly it has gone a little away, but actually correctly it passes through 5. So here it is, x-axis is 5 and y-axis is 0 at 5, 0. So this point is 5, 0 and y-axis at, come on, y-axis is x-axis 0, y 5, 0, 5. That is the answer for the question. So this is line AB. We are extended because they are asking where does it touch. So it touches x-axis at 5, 0. So this point is 5, 0. Touches y-axis at 0, 5. Okay, understood? Very simple. Now today we will see today's topic. So topics for today: independent variable and dependent variable. So when you are very small, you are dependent. Your mother has to look after our food, our dressing, is it not? Everything is dependent on mother. After about say 5 years, you are somewhat independent. After starting going to school, you know how to put dresses, you have to take bath, brushing, all those you learn. No? Then you become independent. So also in algebra, we have got variable which is dependent and also independent. What is that? We will see now. In our daily life, we come across situations like quantity of petrol and its cost. So, what is the cost of petrol now? Something like 100 rupees, 105. As the quantity of petrol increases, 1 liter 105, let us suppose. 2 liters 210, 3 liters 315, like that, no? So, number of liters of petrol increases, cost also increases. That is what is called as variable. So, that is one which are connected to each other. And also principal and interest. The principal increases, interest also increases. Some of you who have got account in bank, you know, will be seeing the check passbook. Must not forget that. So, when you put some money, that money will fetch interest. Is it not? Of course, they calculate only twice in a year, not all the time. So, they put if it is simple interest, something like 3%, 2.5, 3% they charge, they give. And if it is fixed deposit, something like 5%. Okay. So, as a principal increases, interest also increases. And similarly, consumption of electricity and the bill. How do they measure the electricity? They measure a unit called unit they use. So, unit of electricity. So, 1 unit means 1 kilowatt per hour. And for that they charge. For different purposes, different charges are there. So, as the consumption increases, the bill also increases. You might have seen the electricity bill collector. Every monthly once they come and see your board. He will not come inside. You will see the board only. His mind is only on board. What is that? A meter will be there. You note that readings. These are instances. Similarly, fruits, number of fruits and cost. All these things. Number of pens and its cost. These are all instances which one quantity affects the other. For example, number of liters of petrol and its cost. The number of liters of petrol is an independent variable and cost of petrol is dependent variable. So, this is in our hand using quantity of petrol 1 liter or 2 liter like that, independent, and cost is dependent. As the quantity of petrol increases, cost also increases. The relation between such variables can be shown through a graph. So, principal and interest, electricity and its bill, petrol and its cost, like that, so many things you can make out. Now, let us study how to write the graph for such cases. For example, only one example we will take. A bank used 10% simple interest on deposits for senior citizens. Who are senior citizens? They are aged about 60 years, the retired people. So, there was a day wherein you are getting 10% interest. Draw a graph to illustrate relation between sum deposited and simple interest earned from your graph. Okay, so you must draw a graph such that the sum and the interest is compared and you get a linear graph. And lastly, you must answer these two questions. The annual interest obtainable for an investment of rupees 250. For 250, what is the interest you must tell. And the interest, the investment, that means principal you have to find out to get the interest of 70 rupees. To get 70 rupees, how much should be the principal? Correct? So, these are the two questions to be answered after drawing the graph. Now comes how to draw the graph. Shall we start with that? You noted the question? Okay. So, first step, you have to calculate the interest. Is it not? Of course, usually they will be given, but if it is not given, you must know how to do it. You know the formula. Simple interest is equal to, come on, anybody? Studied in the previous classes. Yes, P T R by 100. What is I? Simple interest. What is P? Principal. What is T? Time in years. What is R? Rate of interest. So, here for example, for 100 rupees deposited, P is 100, T is 1 year, R is 10. So, 100 into 1 into 10 by 100, that is 10 rupees. For 200 rupees, same type, 20 rupees. 300 rupees, 30 rupees. 500 rupees, 50 rupees. 1000 rupees, 100 rupees. This is the interest you are getting for 1 year. Correct? So, this is to be put in a table form. Same thing, putting in a table form. So, deposit, we get a table of values. Our 100 rupees, 10 interest, 200, 20 rupees, 300, 30 rupees, 500, 50 rupees, 1000, 100 rupees. So, this is the table. Now, Using this data, we have to show it in the graph. Noted down? Okay. After that, you have to draw the graph. How to draw the graph? You have to take a scale. So, in horizontal axis, you have to take a scale. For 100 rupees, 1 centimeter, 200, 300, like that, up to 1000, because deposit will be there up to 1000. And in the y-axis, 1 unit is equal to 10 rupees. So, 1 unit, 10, 20, like that, equidistant you have to mark. And maximum is 100 rupees. You must see which is maximum. In x-axis, 1000 is a maximum. In y-axis, 100 is a maximum. So, like that you must take. So, what you have taken in x-axis? Deposits in rupees, and y-axis you have taken simple interest. Now, how to mark the deposits along the horizontal axis? So, you have to mark it. For 100 rupees, 10 is the interest, 1 point. 200, 20 is the interest. 300, 30 is the interest. 500, 50 is the interest. And for 1000, 100 is the interest. So, join all these. That is what is called as linear graph. Following? So, join all these points, you get a linear graph. And then you have to answer the question. See, plot the points. We have plotted the points, all this. This is called coordinates. So, first point is called, let us suppose say A, B, C, D, E. You are marking the 5 points. Join this A, B, C, D, E. You get a line. Okay. And there are 2 questions asked. One is, what is the interest for 250 rupees? Secondly, to get interest of 70 rupees, what is the principal or deposit? So, we will answer that. Noted the figure? Okay. Now, coming to answer to the question. So, join the points, we get a graph, that is a line. So, this is a line got. Now, 2 questions. Corresponding to rupees 250 on horizontal axis, we get the interest as 25 rupees. So, here is 250 between 200 and 300, midpoint. And you must find out where this corresponds to the y-axis. Between 20 and 30, that is 25. So, if the principal is 250, interest is 25 rupees, that is the answer. Similarly, corresponding to 70 rupees, that is the interest got, what should be the principal? So, it touches here, this should be added to this. So, you get 700 rupees. So, that is the answer for the question. First is 25 rupees, second is 700 rupees. Suppose they say 80 rupees interest and sum assured must be 800. Suppose 90 rupees interest, sum assured be 900. 100 rupees interest, 1000, like that. You can make out, no? And that is all. So, note how to do it clearly and correctly, very interesting. And there are some more problems worked out in the textbook, and we will see the home assignment now. So, I think you understood how to do it. Now, we will pass on to the home assignment. Okay, the first question is, draw the graph for the following table of values with the suitable scales on the axis. So, your favorite fruit is there. How many like apples? Of course, some you like, but cost is very high. So, here they are written only 5 rupees. Nowadays, you won't get 5 rupees apple, minimum 10 rupees. So, 1 apple costs 5 rupees, 2 apple cost 10 rupees, 3, 15, 4, 20, 5, 25. Now, you have to draw the graph for that. You can do it. It will be linear graph. And second question, draw a graph for the following. Side of a square is given. 2. Perimeter. What is the formula for perimeter? 4 into sides, 4L. So 2 into 4, 8. 3 into 4, 12. 3.5 into 4, 14. 5 into 4, 20. 6 into 4, 24. So come prepared for that, okay? Before we close, let us see what Bhagwan Baba says for students, for all. It's called Sealing on Desires. He says, don't waste food. Most of the students, they waste food. No, sir, I will eat cleanly. Of course, there are maybe some percentage of boys, but usually boys will waste, or girls also, should not waste food. Don't waste time. So time is also very, very precious. Don't waste money. You can buy whatever you want, but you should not be, desiring for more and more things. Should not go on grabbing things. Lastly, don't waste energy. Talking too much and doing something which is unnecessary, all that, and thinking unwanted thoughts. All this will waste our energy. So come on, repeat. Don't waste food. Don't waste time. Don't waste money. Don't waste energy. Who told this? Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba, Kali Yuga Avatari. Okay? And try to answer the questions which I just now shown you. Come prepared for the next class. Okay? Thank you.